Hi, it's T with Teaquilts, and today is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021, and we're here to do Teaquilts Live, 1 hour. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm not sure how long we're going to be on here. I'm sure it's going to be longer than an hour tonight because I decided to do an actual sewing project. So sorry about that. I had my phone on the Facebook screen and it just popped right up. Let me turn that off. All right. Trying to be prepared and forgot all about the volume and stuff. All right. So that's what we're going to be working on today is I'm going to be making a line Christmas stocking, but I'm going to do something else with mine. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I will be reading some of the chat comments. I'll read a few to start. And then once I start sewing, I'm going to just go ahead and sew the project. I'll try to see as stuff is scrolling up what I can see, but I'm sure I'm going to miss a lot of comments. And then, of course, I'm not going to be able to scroll back through to all of them probably. So let me go ahead and see who's in here. I already can't see somebody above Ellen Campbell at 641. I can't see that. All I can see is a red heart. So Ellen Campbell is saying that she made coasters and hot pads. Robin Boyd is here saying good evening everyone at T. Diane 57 is here. Go not quite time yet. Carla Ford saying good evening everyone. Quilt Gals here says hi T and everyone from Chile, Maryland. Darlene Crosby says hi T and friends. Mary's here says gotta eat then we'll chat. C-Rack says good evening everyone. Debbie says hello T and everyone from South Carolina. Slowing Down Joe says hello T and everyone. June Hanson says hi T and everyone. Judy is here saying hello T and T quilters and quilters. Kevin the Quilter is here saying good evening Miss T and all T quilters from the heartland and crossroads of America. In the beautiful show me state of Missouri, I am Kevin the Quilter. So now he's announcing himself. Betsy is here saying hello all. I can't wait to see what you will do with the stocking. Katrina is here saying hello. Celia Swain says hello T and quilting family. Vivian Cavey is here says hi T and everyone. Katrina saying hello Miss T and friends. Ella Odom says good evening Miss T and T quilters. Bonita Nance, hey Miss T and everyone. Dora Camarina, hi T from California. Tiffany of Tiffany and Quilting's Life says hello T and friends. I'm having dinner now while watching. Ellen says T quilts. My niece Kiki says hi. Hi Kiki. Lisa Matthews is here saying hi all. Hi Lisa, welcome to the channel. I don't remember your name. Appreciate you popping in here. Alvita M says good evening Miss T and everyone from ATL, Georgia. That's Atlanta, Georgia. Remo JS says good evening Miss T and thumbs up. She's saying hi Miss T and quilters and also reminding people to thumbs up. Beverly Aiken says hello T and T quilters. Hope everyone is well. Don Cunningham says hello T and friends. Diane 57 says hello to all our T quilter family. And Patricia Carluccio says hey T and friends. And I think that's it. Oh, Deborah Quilts just came in saying hello T and all fellow quilters. So we're caught up for right now. And I'm sure some more people are going to be coming in here. So we'll be taking some breaks for that at the beginning. I just want to tell you what we're doing. And we're actually going to be working on the Accuquilt Santa stocking. Here I'm trying to get it out of the light so you can see the words up here, the Santa stocking. It says that this size is 10.5 by 13 3/4. I don't know where they get that measurement from. It's about 7¼ inches wide when it's sewn. So I don't know if they're doing a whole circumference and going around the stocking. So maybe that's what they're doing. But yeah, I thought that I would just sew this today. I needed to make a stocking that I've already made, and it's gone, so I can't show that to you. I did take a picture of it, so I'll have it in whenever I do a completed projects video. And I did something a little bit different on that stocking as well. Let me just get these new people coming in. I'm trying to get people before I start sewing, because after that, I'm going to let these comments ride. Wash Your Hands is here saying, hello, Miss T and T Quilter. I finally made a live. Yes. And Tiffany is waving and saying hello to everyone joining T's live. Vivian Cavi says, thank you, T. You're welcome. Tucker from Tucker Sewing and Quilting says, hey, T and everyone. Trying to sort my mess, moving things from pile to pile. That's exactly what's happening over here. Although today I did do a little bit better. Today I actually emptied a giant box of fabric. And then while I had that fabric out, I decided you can go ahead and pull some fabrics for a project instead of going to my stash and pulling from the wall, pull from the stuff that's already out. So I'm trying to do better. Barbara Blackburn, hello, T and friends from Chile, Raleigh, North Carolina. North Carolina. Hi, Barbara. Also, welcome to the channel. I don't remember your name as well. Phyllis G says, hi, T and everyone. Signing in from North Carolina. Thinking of North Carolina, that's 2 right in a row. They got line dancing going on this week in North Carolina. I wish I could go, but I didn't sign up. That's making sure I get everybody else. People are just talking to other people. Maddie Barnum came in, says hello, T and everyone. Please tell Kevin next time we saw we want dumplings too. Yum. Kevin saying dumplings coming right up. Deja Hedgewood says, this is Kiki. I just subscribed to your channel, referral by Ellen. Hey, Kiki, thank you so much. Ellen's niece. That's really sweet. Thank you so much. Vanessa Brown's here says, hi, T and Quilters, waiting for the snow in Utah. I don't have to see any snow at all in Missouri. I do want it to get cold so it can kill off all the leftover mosquitoes and things like that. But other than that, I could care less about some snow. Cynthia Shade says hi to all from Chicago. Leetta Bryant says Merry Christmas, T and T Quilters. Same to you, Leetta. Tiffany says she moved about 250 pounds of scraps today around from tub to tub in my garage. Kathy's Quilts and Crafts says hello at Miss T. Hi, Kathy. Kevin's talking to Leetta. Sue is here saying hello all. You have no idea how much this group means to me. Love to all. Hi, Sue. Renee White says hello from California. Hi, Renee. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you coming in. All right, so we're working on this Accuquilt die. And I do want to make a comment. When you buy die boards, you know, they are different sizes. And so this is a very wide die. So you're going to need to have that go mat that's really big. Now, and then another thing too, since we're talking about Accuquilt, and I do have the link for this pinned up at the top if you're thinking about buying the stocking die. When you buy go, you need to have a go mat on a go die, and it's because of how the blades are made. If you try to use a studio mat on a go die, what's going to happen is the go blades are going to start to show on the outside here on the green. So make sure that you're not using the plastic. You need to make sure that you're using the go mats on the go dies. Because otherwise, when it runs through the machine, the way that the pressure from mat to mat is built, it's going to make that die try to cut through the plastic on the back. Okay? So just be careful with that. Also, if you're buying anything Accuquilt, please make sure that you use my link so that I get credit for your purchase. Just realized we forgot the fan because when I'm in here without the lights, and my lights are both LED. I did check them. I don't know why I get hot when I put both of these lights on me, but I do. But I've been in here sewing yesterday and today and haven't had to use a light, okay? So I don't know what's up with that. And she's saying, you're welcome. Have a blessed day. That's Deja. June says we are getting snow tomorrow. So, do you need to use a Go mat on a Go dot even when using the adapter on a studio? Yes, because it's going to go through the tray. I would say yes, because eventually as you keep running it through, it's going to end up putting that impression on the back, especially if you're cutting full 6 layers of fabric. It's just too much thickness. That's a question from Kevin. Hi, Judy Smith. She says hi, T and all. I guess Ian Staples must have come in. I must have missed that. Let me see if I can find it. I don't see it. Maybe I'm not getting all of the chat comments. Okay, so what I've done, on the back of the Go instructions, they just have you make a stocking with 1 layer of fabric. They don't tell you to make a lining. They don't tell you to interface anything. They don't tell you to quilt, put batting in anything. And so I just felt like the instructions were lacking. They don't even tell you to put or how to put a hanging sleeve on it. Okay, so yeah, I thought, okay, we need to do a video on this one because it's very lacking. So what I have done is I have cut my stocking out of crumbs because I'm actually going to be doing something else with this stocking. It's not going to be a Christmas stocking. It's going to be a stocking that's going to hold some supplies. I'm going to put a little pocket on the outside as well, just so I can hold like some pens or pencils or small rulers. And then on the inside of the stocking, especially if you're going on retreats or going somewhere, it's a nice thing you can take. You got a hook on it. You can get one of those purse hook things you put on the tables, and then you can also hang your stocking, and you can put some of your supplies or longer rulers in here as well. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use it yet, but that's my idea. I'm actually making a patchwork stocking to be used in my sewing supplies. The one thing on the stockings is when you cut stockings, you do want to put your fabrics either right sides together or wrong sides together. And that's because you're going to need opposites when you are making them. So you want to make sure that you don't cut 2 with right sides up. If I only had this and I cut 2 right sides up, I'm not going to be able to make a stocking. I'm now going to be making 2 stockings, okay? So make sure you do that. So I have those, my stockings for the outside. I have 2 pieces that I have cut for lining. I just tend to use muslin. Most of the time I don't even use my white good muslin. I use the unbleached muslin because it's going to be far down in the stocking enough that it's not going to be as obvious or seen. So I don't worry about using a print for my lining. You're going to need 2 cuffs, and I'm also experimenting here. I am going to be using the vinyl. I've been using vinyl. I bought some recently, and I've been using it with the, I used it with the wallet that I made. So I'm going to try to use this vinyl as a stocking cuff. Now, I know in this house I got some fluffy fur stuff somewhere, but I don't know where I put it because it's been like over 10-15 years since I last used it. But I know when I bought it, you only need little pieces of it, and you never use the whole yardage when they cut. So if you even bought a 1/4 yard, you got plenty. And then on my cuff, ahead of time, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and put my name on here. So I just embroidered that in the middle. On my vinyl, I just marked the centers. So I would line those marks up with my hoop. You have little notches on the side of your hoop where center is. So that's how I was able to line that up. And this is just straight text off of my embroidery machine. I didn't do anything fancy, just took whatever text they had. What I have on the back here is just cutaways. Sometimes when you go to quilt shows or go to workshops that deal with embroidery, some companies, and this happens to be Floriani, they will give you a sample of all of their embroidery pieces. And if I'm at a quilt show, I'll go back through there 5 and 6 times and get them. I got all kinds of them just laying over here. But I just pulled one of these off. I don't even care which one it was. I just used this one here, which is what you normally put on clothing because it's on the back. And that's what I use. And it's a cutaway, so I just left about a 1/2 inch around it all the way. So that's my cuff for the outside. And then I also have my cuff lining pieces. So I'm going to have this. You need 2 of those. So again, in the pattern on the Accuquilt instructions that come with the machine, they're just telling you to cut two cuffs and 2 stockings for the outside. They don't do anything with linings. And I'm sure they may have some better instructions online, but I thought it was lacking that it wasn't on the actual packaging. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pocket just so I can put some pins or something on the outside, little small rulers like this. Just make a pocket or 2. I'm not sure how many yet. We'll find out when we get there because I haven't done it. And then I'm also going to quilt my stocking. I'm one of those people that I not only like to have batting in my stocking, I also like to have it quilted. So that's what we're going to do first, is we're going to quilt our stocking front. And I've already dropped my feed dogs. I'm not going to be doing any fancy quilting. I'm just going to be doing loops on here. I could have cut my stocking out of batting, but my batting is small. And I'm going to show it to you when I cut it and show you what I do with that. I'm always using scraps in projects like this. I quilt my pillows. When I'm making pillow covers, I quilt those. So I'm always using the scrap batting that I have when I'm trimming off quilts. And it's never quite wide enough to do anything with. So I didn't cut this out because my batting wasn't the right size anyway. And I'm just going to overlap this about 1/4 of an inch. It's no big deal. And then I'm just going to put some pins in here to hold these 2 pieces of batting down until I get to quilting that part. So just a few pins here. Like I said, I've overlapped it about 1/4 of an inch on the back there. You can see that. Just got it pinned. I am going to be using machine gloves just because I don't like stressing my hands out when I'm doing free motion quilting. I've got my feed dogs already dropped. I've got my free motion foot on the machine as well. Hi everybody coming in. I can't stop to chat with you. Whenever I'm doing a tutorial, I try to keep going so I'm not starting and stopping for people that are only here for the tutorial. Okay. Just trying to make sure I overlap that enough. Let me see if I can move this up a little bit. I want to make sure it's caught. I'm pinning my glove now. All right. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm just doing loops. I haven't done anything other than drop my feed dogs on here. And I'm just doing loopy loops. I don't even have my Bernina stitch regulator, which I do have. But I don't really care about that right now. I just want to get my feed dogs back up so we can get this quilted. I mean, this is not going to be an heirloom stocking, so I'm not really caring about the quilting here. It's going to be a useful stocking. It's not even going to see storage. And there are so many stocking patterns that you can get online for free for those that are looking for a stocking pattern. Like, you don't have to follow the instructions. You can put it together however you like. Okay, so now I'm coming up here to where one of my pins are. So I want to remove the pin, but make sure I keep the batting in place. Oops, I forgot what I was doing. And you could sew your batting pieces together ahead of time, but I'm just basically using what's left of a rectangle here, so that's why I didn't sew another piece of batting on, because then I would have had the waist that I just trimmed and added to this other side. So that's why I didn't add another one. So now we're done. We just did simple loops. And now I'm going to be raising my feed dogs back up. So just basic loops, nothing fancy here. You probably can see the texture more on the back than you can on the front. So let's get these feed dogs up. And we're going to take this foot off as well. And I have to tell Bernina that I'm taking this foot off. Miss Bernie over here. Otherwise, she'll act up. All right. So I'm just going to sit that over here. My regular 1/4 inch foot is going back on now. Hi, Barbara Polk. Just want to make sure everything's nice and tight in there. Now, because I did not cut this with the die cutter, I am going to have to cut this out with scissors. But the first thing I do, since I didn't quilt like all the way out to the edges, is I am going to go ahead and stitch close to the edges here. And I'm still using my basic piecing stitch length, which is 2.5 for me. So that's what I'm using right now. You could, I'm going to increase it to 3 just so I can baste this faster. Just so it's not so tiny, because I am stitching on top of batting. Going around the curve, you just lift your foot, your presser foot. That's why I love my knee lift. Just long as I'm less than 1/4 inch, it doesn't matter. And the reason why I like stitching the batting along the edges is because it makes your edges nice and neat, especially if you're only stitching a 1/4 inch seam. It makes it so you don't have to worry about leaving something out of the seam. Almost finished here. Up here at the top. And I'll just back stitch. Alright, so now I do have to cut this out with my scissors. You could easily cut this out with your die cutter as well. Or cut it out with your pattern at the same time you're cutting your stocking. I just like to do mine after it's quilted. And then me and my left-handed scissors. That's one thing I am grateful for that's in the world today, because I grew up as a left-handed person in a right-handed world. Everything I use, from scissors to can openers and things like that, were all made for right-handed people and hurt my hands tremendously. So I am grateful for left-handed scissors. No more pain. And these are my scissors that I use for paper and for fabric. They're Fiskars, But I bought these, and you know I've had these scissors, been using them. I got 2 pair, one here and one in my press area. I've had them for years and haven't had to sharpen them yet, and I do cut paper with them. So this is what we have now. Take that piece off. Okay, so we've got our 2 stocking pieces. So we're going to be sewing everything right sides together. So we're actually going to sew the front part of the curve, 1/4 inch seam, and we're just going to stop. We just want to get so we can sew our cuff onto the top here. So that's what I'm going to do since I got it in my hand. I'm going to increase my to like 3.5 maybe, see what that stitching does, since I'm going through 2 layers of batting here. And I'm just stitching a 1/4 inch seam on the inside of the stocking, and I'm going to cut that. And basically that's all I've stitched. It's just that. I just want to get the cuff onto the top. And I would like to press it open a little bit, but I'm not going to use a heated iron. We'll just make sure this wood tool give it a little memory. And we're going to do the same thing to our stocking parts. My lining, the inside part of my stocking, we're going to still stitch on that inside, just a 1/4 inch. I'm going to go back down because I'm at 3.5 and I only got 2 layers. So this is where you're going to be switching your tension here, going from one thing to the next. And I am going to back stitch. Cut that. And so now my lining, I also have done the same thing. I just stopped stitching short. I just basically want to put the cuff on. So now we're going to work on the cuff pieces. Oh, I want to put a pocket on here too, don't I? So we'll go back over here and we'll do a pocket. So let's do the pocket first. I almost forgot. This is something I'm adding on. I didn't add this on my first one, but I just put some craft fuse on the back of this pocket and the cuff lining. I didn't put batting. I would normally put batting inside, but because I'm using vinyl and vinyl is a little thicker, I decided to just line the cuffs. So we do not have any batting in our cuff. Normally you would if you're not using vinyl. So I'm going to stitch this 1/4 inch seam here. This is the pocket. I have to remember what I'm stitching here. Now let's see if I stitch this too far down that I can't put the pocket on here. Let's see. So again, we're going to be pressing with our wood tool. I just want to do a dry run here. Yeah, I can put the pocket there and just trim off any excess. So I've just sewed it right sides together, and then I flipped it out, and I just got it like this, so it's still open everywhere. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and stitch to hold this down here up at the top. Just like when you're making any other pockets or things you're adding into a project, you want to hold it at the top. And I'm not changing threads. Again, this is just a project for holding sewing supplies or something like that. And I am going to go ahead, I'm just going to stitch the bottom close where I've got the flap so it doesn't flap open. I'm not worried about the sides because I may have to trim those off. But we will do the bottom. All right. So basically I've got the fold where I did the seam. It's up here at the top. And then I just stitched the bottom so that it's just one piece. The sides I didn't worry about because when I put it on the stocking, I may have to move it anyway. So if I'm going to have this pocket here, when it's sewn, it's going to have a 1/4 inch seam in it. I'm just eyeballing where I want to put this pocket, folding up an imaginary 1/4 inch seam. All right, so we're just going to line it up with this seam here. Whoops, not right there. We'll put it right there. All right, and I'll just show you this in a second here. I'm just pinning this pocket on to the front. So I'm just pinning this pocket on. I should have done this before I sewed my center seam. So now we're going to do that. I'm going to increase the stitch length to at least 2.5. And I am going to back stitch. Whoops, I just pulled the pin and it my flower head pin came off. Put that over there. All right. I forgot all about the main feature of this event. So now I've sewn that pocket where it's down, and all I'm going to do is just flip that pocket up. And then I'm going to press that with my wood press as well. Hi everybody coming in. Kim Barris. She says hi T and everyone. Angela Stringer is here. That just popped up. Saying thanks all. See you all Saturday. Good night. So this is what we have now. It's this piece like this. And it is, if you're looking at it from the back, you can see where it's too big. That's why I didn't sew the sides on there yet. So I am going to go ahead and stitch this bottom seam so that it doesn't move as well. Oops. Just had to get it up there. Okay. And then I think I'm going to put a pocket like halfway, put a stitch line about in the middle, and then I'm going to put one on the other side about in the middle. And then I'm going to leave one side a bigger pocket. That's what's going to happen. That's why I'm not going to do all the stitching. But I'm going to eyeball center here. You can mark it, of course. This is something that's not rocket science, so I don't too much care about it. I'm just going to turn this around and go right back down my line just to give it some reinforced stitching. And in. We're going to cut that. And then I'm going to do that to one other side. I think I'm going to do it to the back side of the stocking. And put one about middle ways, even though I don't know where the back is ending yet. Turn it around and go back and stitch. I like to, when I'm having pocket dividers, I like more than one row of stitching on it. Just in case when we put stuff in it, we don't bust the seam out with the first thing we pop in here. So we'll cut all of those threads. Doing thread management. And now what I'm going to do is go from the back side now. I can see where my stocking ends. And now I'm just going to go ahead and stitch so that all of this is one piece. It's just easier for piecing if you stitch everything down. same thing over here. All right, and then we're going to cut the excess part of this off with the scissors. All right, one side. Second side. All right. I want to make sure that I may have to take this part just a little bit, about a 1/2 inch too short here. I want to make sure I get this end piece in. We don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble with our stocking when it's done. All right. Now the thing I'm going to add onto this stocking next is going to be the hanger. And I just take a 2-inch strip. I did put interfacing in it. You don't have to, but I tend to like things to be a lot sturdier, so I put interfacing in. I just use craft fuse again, and I folded it in half where they met, so it was 2 inches. And when I fold it into the centers, now this strip is 1 inch, and then when I fold in half again, I've got a 1/2 inch. And I just eyeball this. This is the must be like 7 3/4 inch strip, because I just cut it off the scrap from when making the pockets and the inside cuff linings. So that's what I have next to do. I'm just going to stitch down the edge, and I'm going to stitch down both edges because I like for them to look uniform. You don't have to do that. I'm just pulling my stitch length back down a little bit. And I don't have to back stitch on this. It's going to be caught in the seam allowance when I'm sewing this bag together. And instead of even cutting my thread, I'm just going to turn it. One more stitch this way. All right. So now we got this, and we can put this onto the front outside of our stocking. But we can wait until we put the cuff on too. So let's go ahead and do the cuffs part of this. So I've got that sewn. This is what we have on the stocking so far. So this is going to be my pockets for a pin, small rulers here. Okay. Cuffs. So I've got cuff lining and I've got a cuff. Now, you could, if you rotary cut these, you could cut this and have it so that you don't have to do the center seam. But because I didn't die cut these, but I just went ahead and cut them to the size that was on the die. I feel like one of them is a different size or something. Sometimes when you put interfacing on stuff, when you press it to it, it might make stuff a little bit bigger. I am going to back stitch on these. I normally don't back stitch in quilt making, but on projects I do. And then I want to do the same thing with the outer cuffs. We're going to put them right sides together. And we're going to sew those too. I'm hoping I can sew on this vinyl without any paper. I don't know if I got paper in here. This was a last minute think about. Let me make sure I back stitch here. It's going through right now. I normally use freezer paper or tissue paper when I'm sewing vinyl. We can go ahead and cut that off. So basically I just sewed one seam on the cuff and the lining, the cuff lining. And I am going to go ahead and try to press these seams open just so I'm distributing the weight. Hi, anybody coming in? I see Deborah Sams Brown's here. Hello to you. Sandra Agger is here. Hi, Sandra. So I'm still trying to press with this wood press. Y'all know this vinyl is a little bit thicker, but I'll pin it down too. So I've got this is going to be my outer cuff. This is my lining cuff. I want it on top because what I want to do now is I want this on the bottom where my name is because it's going to be onto the bag. This is going to be going into the bag. So I want to make sure when I sew this that I'm sewing the top where my name is. I want to sew the top of this lining, not the bottom. If you don't put a name on it, it doesn't matter. Thanks, Kim. I just couldn't I couldn't find my fur fabric, and I didn't feel like, destroying my house. I looked in a couple of places, and where I thought it would be, I looked in felt. I couldn't find it. So, and this will be a great time to use a clip, but I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in here anyway. And we're going to just sew this across the long seam this time. And I've got my seam sort of kind of pressed open. Matter of fact, I might want to sew put the vinyl side up. It worked pretty good this last time, so we'll do it again. Do what works. And because I'm using vinyl again, I did not use any batting in my cuff. I did interface my lining of the cuff though. All right. So the long seam, we're going to press this open. And I will let you see what I have. Okay. So this is currently what we have. And this is what it looks like on the back, just so you all know. And I'm going to go ahead and top stitch this seam so that this vinyl will not be moving around. So I'm going to do that next. I'm actually stitching onto the lining portion here because I'm using vinyl. If I probably had fabric, I would stitch on the outer side of my cuff so that the stitching would show. But it doesn't matter. Guess I could increase my stitch length. I'm trying to make sure that I have this vinyl pressed open when it gets to my stitching my needle. Oops. All right. So just a stay stitch, and that'll keep that vinyl from rolling. I don't know if you all can see that, but it's a stitch line right here. And I'm just using regular piecing thread. Nothing fancy for me. Y'all know I'm lazy. So I got that part done. So now what we want to do, we wanted to get this made so that we can now sew this. My name is going to go right here on the top portion. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. The reason I like to stitch this flat is because when it's in a circle, it's just a little tight area that you're going to have to stitch around. So I prefer to do it and then sew my stocking together. I sew the cuff on and then sew that stocking. So again, we're going to need a pin or two here because this vinyl is thick, and I'm going to keep this vinyl up on top just because it seems my machine seems to like it that way. I know I want it on the bottom, but that's okay. We're still just sewing 1/4 inch seams. I am using like a 3.0 stitch length at this point because I'm sewing through vinyl and fabric with batting. And just trying to make sure my seams are open. So I'm distributing the fullness. All right, cut that. And again, I'm going to press this with my wooden iron. I'm pressing, since my vinyl is the thicker and not as pliable as my batting. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to press my seams toward the towards my stocking fabric, not the vinyl. The vinyl is so thick you just don't want to build up. And normally I would press this to get it a little bit, but you know you can't press your vinyl. You got to cover it up. But we're not going to take the time today to do that. And I'm going to put this on 3.5 to do my top stitching. Just want to hold this in place. Okay. It's going to cry a little bit. All right. And now we've got it looking like this. And now we're going to put this part, the lining, onto this side. Right sides together again, and we're going to stitch that down. So I'm just going to stitch in the pin in the middle where the seams are crossing. Other than that, you don't need any pins. If you need more pins, you can put them here. We're going to try for one. We're going to be brave. The only thing I don't like about craft fuse is when you go to turn it, it does wrinkle up a little bit, but you can press it back out. Okay, we need to go down. We're at 3.5, child. Let me know what's one of your favorite things to get in your Christmas stocking. That would be interesting. I'll see if anybody guessed mine. All right. So now we've got something that looks like this. Looks very strange. And all we're going to do is just fold this in half. And I'm actually going to start stitching on my stocking where I left off. And I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way around, come back down onto the lining part and stitch all the way around. But I'm going to leave an opening up in here. Now, my pieces look like they're lining up pretty good. I'm going to put a pin here. I'm going to leave about a 3 to 5 inch opening. You can leave a large opening because we're just going to be top stitching that closed anyway. And it's down in the foot of the stocking. Nobody will ever see it. But if you need pins, you can go ahead and add pins as well. I'll add some just so we don't cry later, especially at my match point. Inside this curve, I'll put one. And I'm making sure that my seams are lining up. I really don't like putting pins in my vinyl, but let me put it up here. because I don't want to end up with a pinhole. All right. So now we've got the foot. Just trying to make sure we get some match points lined up so we're not going to be off as we're coming around the curves here. Hi, Leisha. Where you been? Wind sprinters in here talking about cash to somebody. Barbara says my favorite. Oh, she's saying cash in the stocking. Okay, I get you, girl. Kevin says cash. Diane says I love nuts, and Christmas was the only time we got nuts. That's pretty cool. Dark chocolate, anything for Joe Carmel Perkins. Let's see. Jonah Crutchfield's here. Hi, Jonah. See what else y'all got in these stockings. Sue says, I would absolutely love to find featherweight bobbins in my stocking. That's awesome. Barbara says, my favorite thing is Ghirardelli's peppermint dark chocolate. That's pretty cool. Tiffany says, if I had a stocking to stuff, I'd like cash or gift cards, like all of my favorite quilting, to all of my favorite quilting stores. Now, that's cool. Gift cards or gift certificates from sewing centers. And Ellen says, I said a long arm. This is a Christmas stocking, Ellen. That's funny, though. Hey, if you can get it, girl. We're going up to 3 millimeters. I want to back stitch here. That's pretty cool. Eric Otis here. Hi, Eric. Eric, what would you want in your Christmas stocking, or what was one of your favorite things to get in your Christmas stocking? Claudette Bettis is here saying hello to you and everyone. Hi to you as well. That's funny, though. A long arm. 1/4 inch seam here. Again, you're going around curves here, so you may want to take your time. We're almost done with... Hold on. Hold on. I said, we're almost done with this. All we got to do is close up the hole. It's like, no, you don't have your strap in here. On the batting, which is my front part of my stocking, up at the top, real close to the seam, I'm going to slide this in here. And it doesn't have to be right up at the top. I'm going to put mine down about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to put that in there. I almost forgot talking. All right. So now we're going to go back. I'm far back plenty. But I'm still going to back stitch. So now we're sewing this down. I almost forgot my hanger. I need like 5 hands now. I got 3. It don't seem to be enough. This stocking is pretty long. All right, take those pins out. Darlene says she like anything sewing or quilting related would be great in her stocking. Jonah says scratch tickets. That's a good one too. We have family members, and sometimes I do it too, where we we have large family gathering. You can't buy everybody something, so we just give people envelopes with tickets in them. So that's a good one too. Now I'm over here with getting close to my hanger, and I'm gonna back stitch that hanger in a couple of times, maybe like triple stitch it, because I don't want that coming out. It's gonna be having a lot of weight. Okay, so I did it 3 times. I'm always excessive. Darlene says rip, rip, rip. I got that in there, girl. I didn't want to be ripping. Diane 57 is here. She'd like to see me rip. Okay, now I've been sewing with 3, and I'm going to go down a little bit because now I'm just sewing on regular cotton when I get to the lining. About 2 3/4 millimeter at this point. And remember, we want to leave a hole in here for turning. So we're almost finished with this puppy. I don't have any idea what time it is. It's 7:53. We're doing great with time. That's because I haven't been reading a lot of comments. So I apologize for that. And now I'm back here to my last pin where I made my mark. I'm going to back stitch in that area. All right. So we've got the whole thing sewed here. And now we're just going to go into the hole and turn this right side out. We can always start with the small part here and get it out the way. Run our fingers around here. I sometimes use my scrapbook. I'm almost hating to say this word, but the boning tool, I use that. And then you can go in and I guess I didn't leave as much space as I thought I was leaving on this. But if it rips a little bit, that's okay too, because you're just stitching it by the machine. So I'm just poking this in on itself, helping it to turn out, if you see that. Come on through this hole, push down. And now we got to get the vinyl in here. That's the hardest part. Barbara says, good catch. Yes. When I was a kid, my stocking had candy and underwear and socks in it. Ha ha, yes. That's why I was going back into childhood. And she was saying her parents were odd. That's what they put in stuff like Diane was saying, the nuts and things like that. That's the kind of stuff. I'm such a doofus, y'all. I am going to have to rip. Because I forgot that I had my lining. I want my liner, my hanger to be up here. I don't want it down there. But let's go ahead and see what it's looking like just in case I don't want to change it. I want my hook up at the top. So we'll take that out. Do that later, I guess. I still wasn't paying attention. Kim says, I had allergies as a kid, so I usually got Barbie clothes or small games. That's cool. Deborah says, I mentioned that in my comment. You missed it. I guess I did. Did you put the hanger on? Yeah, she was talking about the hanger. Yep. And I still got a rip, Diane 57. Let me see. Oh, crap. My name's on the back. I put my name on the back. I wasn't even paying attention, guys. I'm not taking it apart. The main thing, the reason why I put my name on it is because if I take it to retreat and if you leave it, then it's got your name on it. So that's why I actually put the name on it right here. So, I don't know. I think I just need to, I do want to bring this hanger up, so I'm not going to close it right here yet. But I do have my pockets here on the back side. I have my name on the, this is actually the back side. My name should have been right here was my intent, but I put it in the wrong spot. Like I told you all, I'm just experimenting. So, but let me go ahead and, I do want this hanger up higher. I like the technique you use for getting to get the lining on. Yeah. And then you don't have to go, like, you're not trying to sew with your free arm around this little bitty area trying to turn it like that. That's why I do like sewing my lining like that. But we're going to go back, turn this back out as much as we need to. And, oh, I got to go back through the hole. I forgot all about that part. I got to pull the lining out and then go back through the hole. She says hers would have had a dark red poodle toy. I don't even know what that is. And quit laughing at me, Diane. Thank you, Phyllis. She's reminding people to hit the thumbs up. So what I was trying to do is not going to work. I got to take this back out the other way. So I can, I'm going to take my hanger off and move it up. So I'm using my ripper anyway, but it's real close to me. It's never far. And I only did this because I'm live. Of course, the one I did and gave already, it went with no problems, okay? And all I'm going to do with my stocking is like I said, I'm going to just hang it somewhere and put stuff in it, quilt-related stuff. So, and now I got to just pull all of this. The vinyl is the hardest part getting through because it's thicker than regular fabric. Thanks, Darlene. I like the whole concept of it, but I've just destroyed it with the hanger, and I'm not having that because I'm going to use this. My name's going to be on the back, but that's okay. And I don't even know how that happened. That was just something else I must have done while I was talking. All right. So I've got it all back out. I got the hanger. I got a feel for it right here. Seam ripper in hand, Diane 57. Thanks, Elvita. Well, no, I actually got the pocket on the front. My name is on the back. That's what happened, Alvita. I got the pocket in the wrong, the handle, not the handle. My name is on the back. I meant for my name to be on the front. It worked out just fine on the other stocking. I told my husband this was going to happen, though. He probably watching and laughing. I thought I was doing good. It's 8:01 now. I would have been done with this if I'm not ripping. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up where that vinyl part is because that's where I want it to go. Up there. So I'm going to take the stitching out all the way until I get to that hanger. I don't have to take the whole thing apart. Just till I get to the hanger. Now, y'all know I was really stitching on that hanger, right? Making sure it didn't come apart. So I'm going to have a lot of stitching right here to get out. I'm almost over it. I don't have to take all the stitching off like on the opposite side when I back stitched all the way off and on, but I got to at least get the hook out. Almost finished. Almost finished. It doesn't take long to fix mistakes. I'd rather fix the mistake on something like this and not have my hanger too low than to leave it like that and to be inconvenienced with it the whole time I'm using it. So it didn't even take long at all to rip that. And it's not going to take that long to stitch it back up either. I'm going to line up these seams again. And just put a pin to hold everything here. And now I actually want to put this in up here. I do want to get these excess threads off of here. Part of that might show. All right. We're going to stick this in at the vinyl, close to the top of the vinyl. And I don't put it right up on the top edge, just to give myself a little room. Here we are using another pen. Use a heavy duty pen here, because we're stitching through vinyl now. We're just going to have it there. All right, and we're going to stitch this again. What's my stitch length? It's about 2.75. That's okay. So my hanger is right there. I want to get the pin out. And again, I'm back stitching over that hanger. I want to make sure that hanger is not going to come out if I put weight in here. Oops. I need to raise my feet to back stitch right here. Just want to make sure this seam is nice and smooth, since I can't see it on the batting. All right, let's try turning this out again, right? Oh my goodness. Let me look on the other side and make sure everything is sewed in. Yeah, I can see both ends. Want to make sure. Everybody, Diane's acting up. Let me see what she's saying. Everybody sing rip, 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 rip to the tune of Jingle Bells. Rip, 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 rip. I'll do it for you, Diane. I turned this a lot more efficiently before, but hey. We've been here, done that. I'm just trying to get through it now. I want it to be right. What did Eric say? Would Ryan Reynolds fit in my stocking? The funny thing for me, the one thing that I look for in my stocking every year was oranges. I don't know where my mother got oranges. I just think fruit in general years ago is a whole lot better than it is nowadays. I don't know why, but it is. And I looked forward to the oranges. And then, like Diane also said, we also got pecans in our stocking. So those were two of my favorites. Maybe I'll use the end of my seam ripper here to help poke some of this out. It's only critical on the lining part. I don't pull it in and out twice. Just trying to get the curves out here. It's not too bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold in these seams. I would normally press them, but you know, we're going to keep rolling with it. We're going to fold these seams in and stitch them down. Do as I say, not as I do here, because I have a feeling I'm going to be ripping. I've been in and out of this stocking so many times that my underside piece don't want to lay my 1/4 inch seam in here. It's like, give me my 1/4 inch seam. And I need to almost press it in here. But since it's the inside of the stocking, it's not critical, right? I'm struggling though. All right, we get it started. Back stitch. We'll get it started and then the machine can hold it. See, I told you I need another hand. And then I can pull it over. Okay. And again, you can stitch that open and close by hand. When it's inside of a bag or something where you're not going to see it, I don't worry about it. And now we poke this in as I pull this stocking out. Get that out first before we go trying to put something else in it. I'm trying to get off the live because I'm over now. I was doing really good till I put that hanger in the wrong spot, thinking that the blue was my thinking that this was my top. Forgot all about the vinyl part. All right. So just want to get my sock into the right curves inside the stocking. All right. Now, if I had a heated iron here, I would go through and press it. But I don't. And I could also see how my lining is up here at the top. You can leave it like that or you can push it all the way inside. But then here is my hanger here. So this is the outside with the pockets on it. So I can stick a pin in here. So I have a small one and then I have a pocket where I can put some little smaller notions and tools in. I can even put this little bitty ruler, my 1/2-inch ruler will go in here. And I'm hoping that my 2.5 will go in here. And I was going to put the pocket on the inside, but if you start putting stuff on the inside of the stocking, then you're going to lose the storage of other stuff in here if you put the pocket inside. So that's why I put the pocket outside. I thought about even doing a faced pocket where it went into the pocket, but then that was also going to be on the inside. So I just decided to just do a basic pocket here. And again, my name is on the back. I intended for my name to be on the front. The name is on the front of the other one that I did. I don't know what I did. When I put this down, I wasn't paying attention. And so I've got my name on the back. And this was my first time using vinyl on the top, so it turns out pretty cool too. And you could use a fluffy fabric up here as well, like a fur fabric, faux fur. And that would be cute too, but this is actually going to be the front so I can utilize the pockets and then all of my little crazy crumb piecing as well. The name part on this one, since it's not going to be an actual Christmas stocking, isn't important. So, but at least it's got my name on it if I should ever leave it when I take it out my house. So, that's it, guys. It's fun to make. Let me go see what some of the comments are saying. June says, cute stocking anyway. Thank you, ma'am. Diane, 57, Barbara Polk talking about you got a big smile, and Diane's giving her all kind of grins. Nancy Gus is laughing. Cynthia says, I'm glad you made a mistake. Now I don't feel bad when I do that. Yeah, like I said, I do a whole lot of stuff when I'm live, trying to read comments, sewing, and then trying to pay attention to something. It's not like I sew these every day. So, But yeah, I don't have any problems. I do that even if it's in my videos. If I make a mistake, I'll let you all know so you know not to do the same mistake I just did. Shell Knuckles says, thank you for my fabric. You're welcome. Jonah says, my stockings were lame when I was a kid. I made sure my kids had great stocking stuffers. I still do, and they're all grown up. Wash Your Hands says, I have this die. I like to add 2 sections to the top part to make the stocking longer. And I did that on another one. On the one that I gave, I did make it longer by like 4 inches. Because I didn't even, you don't have to cut the top part. All you got to do is cut it to the right width. And then you can just add on. But I did make a long stocking. And I'll show you the picture of it later. Like I said, I had to already got that one done. So I couldn't show it to you and giving it. Okay. You're not supposed to be turning, so why are you turning? Let me go back and see where we left off. My screen jumped. Of course, I've lost my spot in the chat. Francis Jackson says, hi, TNT Quilters. Hi, Francis. Since I don't have a fireplace, I should hang a stocking on my long arm and maybe Santa will fill it with quilt rulers and thread. Haha. You know, I've never had a fireplace mantle in any, I don't think in any of my homes that I've lived in. Isn't that weird? I've never had a home with a fireplace. That's weird. And Diane talking about keep your toes crossed now, T. Amelia said, Rubio says, hello, Miss TNT Quilters. Hi, Amelia. Barbara said, ooh, that sounds like my husband. Barbara said, we had so much fruit. He loves his fruit. Yes, but fruit was a whole lot better, as I said, when we were a kid. I don't know what is gone. I can't even find a decent watermelon, okay? It's ridiculous. Diane says, I went old school with my kids. No money in their stockings. Eric says, we never had stockings growing up. So that's interesting. Kevin says, keeping it real with Miss T. Got that right. Wash Your Hands says, pretty. Thank you. Nancy says, I like it. Just show you all the stocking again. And with the name on the back. June's asking Eric if his family is okay. He says, yes, they are enjoying the swimming. The swim. That's really awesome, T. Thanks, Kim. Beverly says, really nice stocking. Lisa says, that's nice, even with the name on the back. Yes. It could be to the front, but I purposely want my piecing to show. And like I said, I know it's mine, so I don't have to have the name on the front. I would have liked to have my name on the front, but if I ever leave it somewhere, at least my name is on it somewhere. Yeah, Wash Your Hands says a zipper pocket would be cool too. Yeah, and I could have put that on here as well, but I thought I want stuff that I'm just going to get in and out of, because I thought about zippers too, because I got so many of those. But I definitely didn't want to put it inside or do a set-in pocket. Nancy says turn it around. I think I've shown both sides. So this is the piece side. Let me just turn it this way so that it's all showing in the screen, hopefully. So this is the piece side. This is my back side. And I just did light quilting with just loops. I didn't do any fancy stitching. I just wanted to make sure that my outer fabrics was attached to the batting for strength, because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of putting weight on here if and when I use it. So, but I'm going to be hanging that somewhere just because it's pretty. And Cynthia says, no such thing as back or front. You got that right. We use all other sides. We got fruit too, but we also got huge peppermint stick. That's Diane 57. My brother Ray says, good night, everyone. Stay safe. Good night, sir. Don't forget to give T a thumbs up from Darlene. Thank you, Darlene. Jim Bennett's here says, awesome stocking. Thank you, Jim. Nice, Miss T from C-Rex. Darlene Crosby says, have a good night, everyone. Yeah, because we're going to be ending here in a little bit. June says, good, I heard about the rain and was hoping your family was safe. Talking to Eric. My sister says where she is in Honolulu, Eric, that last night it finally stopped raining, but she wasn't going out because everything was flooded. Teaquilts, what will you charge for an orange African print kit for stocking? I don't know. I have to. The thing with this is that it takes like a yard of fabric to cut this about, and so I would have to charge for the fabric. And I don't even know if I don't know what African fabric I got when you're talking about a color. So just message me, Ellen, because I'll forget. Eric says, when I make a mistake, I make a joke out of it. I just keep it real because things happen. It happens, honey. Sue says 6.5 months till retreat, but who's counting? Laughing out loud. Got that right. I sure hope that this wave of this virus don't get too bad and that we have to cancel by the time next year comes. I'm going to cry if we have to cancel next year. Phyllis says, thanks for the tutorial, T. Good night, all. Good night, Phyllis. Thank you so much for popping in. Good night to all. Stay safe and be blessed from Diane. We had homemade stockings. Thanks, Sue. Saying great tutorial. Kim says, good night, all. Take care. Stay safe. God bless. Wash your hands says, this stocking is long because you didn't turn the top down, right? This stocking, this is the regular stocking if you don't turn it down. You can flip this down if you want to. You could do that. But this pattern is not one that tells you to do that. And I like my stockings long. And I even made it longer on the one that I gave because I didn't like it. But you don't have to turn your cuffs in. That wasn't my intent. So this is the size it would be if you turn the cuff in. I like them long so I can get lots of stuff in them. So I have never turned the cuffs down on my stocking. So that's a great question because you could do that as well. And if you did it by the packaging on the die, you would have raw seams showing right here because you wouldn't have a lining. So just keep that in mind as well. But I like mine just up high. I've always made them longer. And I even made the one that I did do. I made it even longer. So you can put some stuff in it. I'm trying to get, because I didn't press it. Normally I press them so that they stay in position a little better. But it's going to be stuff with stuff. It's not going to matter. I got another. Oh, that's just on the outside. I was like, I see a string. I try to do string management when I'm sewing so I don't have a lot to do at the end. Kim says, good. I think I read that one. Beverly Aiken says, good night, everyone. Be blessed and stay safe. June says, thanks for sharing how to make those stockings. Yeah, with a name on the back. Wash your hands says, great tutorial. Thank you. Yes. Diane says, I hang mine on the bookcase. Yeah, that's what I did with them. I just put them on a bookshelf. Thank you, Remo. Saying beautiful. Nancy says, it's really pretty. Thank you. I love the crumb piecing on here. You could also put a piece through here and have a little pocket down in the toe as well if you wanted. If you really wanted to store stuff on it. Really pretty from Nancy. Jim says oldest was of 6 was lucky to have presents. You got that right. We got basically one thing. My worst Christmas gift as a kid. Hi, Mom. I had 2 years where I got the worst Christmas gift. The worst one was the year that she bought some salesman. They used to come by selling like encyclopedias and stuff like that. And you pay all this money every month and then you get these books every month. My mom ended up getting the children's Bible story for me. And I love going to church, but I'm like, that wasn't a Christmas gift. To me, that was the worst gift I ever got. Although I read them, I just didn't feel like it should have been given to me as a Christmas gift. However, the one year that I'm a tomboy and I hang with my brother Ray, like I told you all, we were jump roofs. We were playing basketball. We were playing, I think it was called Mama Pig, where you take a butter knife and you do different things and see if you can make it stand in the dirt or whatever. We played all kinds of stuff. I'm out here with the boys, and why did my mama go buy me a toy kitchen and sink set? It's a stove and refrigerator and a sink set. And I looked at her like she had lost her mind. By that time, I'm washing real dishes. Nobody want to play with that stuff. I'm cooking real food. That's the one thing my mom did. She taught us how to cook early. We basically were standing in chairs cooking. She taught us how to cook. But my mom she retired from being a gourmet chef. So you're welcome, Nancy. My pleasure. June saying good night all. Teresa says, thank you, T. I enjoyed it. Thank you. My borders look nicer now. That's Remo. That's great. And she says, yes, she remembered that game. Yeah, because we made up stuff because we didn't get every new toy that was created. We made up stuff. Wash Your Hand says, I like mine long too, but I like to flip the top. That's why I add 2 top sections. Yeah. I have never flipped the top because I would normally have this up here being furry. But I've always loved just getting, putting lots of stuff in there. So the other one I made, I still didn't flip the top and I added another section. It's really long. I'm one of those women who love getting pots for Christmas as long as it's good quality. Yes. Yeah, if it's good quality, I can appreciate it. But yeah. So we're going to go ahead and end here. We are on an hour and a half almost. So I want to thank you all for coming. Bonita's asking me what stabilizer did I use. I use Craft Fuse in the lining. Otherwise, I would have used batting, Bonita. And then I just used stabilizer for my name. I just pulled one from the Floriani stuff. It's the Easy Knit. It's just something that I pulled because it was free. It doesn't matter. It could be tearaway. It could be cutaway. It can be whatever you want because it's on that vinyl. If you're doing it like that. And even on fabric, I would have still probably used a cutaway or a tearaway. It wouldn't have mattered. But I would have quilted it if I had binding. I would have then quilted this down to the binding. To the batting, not the binding, to the batting. So we're going to go ahead and end here. Hold on. June says, I bought those books. The boys loved them, but they liked the Bible stories that were in them. Our big Bible, they were down so the kids understood them. Yeah. And like I said, I enjoy reading the books because I was a bookworm. I just didn't feel like because I went to church, she didn't get anybody else that was for me. It was like, no, where's my gift? But I read every last one of them as they came. And my mom probably was stretching her budget to even buy those books and paying for those books all year like that. But I read every last one of them. Ellen Campbell says, good night, everyone. Good night. People saying good night. So thank you all again. Alvita says, great tutorial, T. Good night and have a great week. Thank you. And I'll see you all Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for live sewing chat. We'll continue working on the African print fabrics. And again, Ellen, you can email me. I have to figure that out. All right. See you all. Bye-bye, everybody. Stay blessed. Be safe. And quilt out. I'm too busy looking at